Cardio is the foundation of every great fighter's success. No matter how powerful your punches are, no matter how slick your submissions are, without the gas tank to back it up, you are nothing in the cage. We've all been there, dominating around, and all of a sudden you hit a wall. Muscles burning, lungs on fire, and all that technique you built up won't save you. That's been me before, and honestly, it gave me PTSD. As the next time I fought in a cage, I was scared to throw powerful strikes and honestly any strikes at all. I was afraid of gassing out again, which made me a fraction of the fighter I truly was. What if I told you it doesn't have to be your reality? But instead you can make your opponent feel all those things, because you maximized your cardio and put a pace on him he couldn't handle. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build that cardio that will leave your opponents gassing while you're just getting started. My name is Mario. I'm a certified personal trainer with a Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science. Prior to jumping in, you probably know that cardio is just one of many aspects you need to become a complete athlete in any sport. And I have a few free courses that go over some of the other attributes in my free community, which you can join right now. It's completely free and you get a bunch of free resources. I'm sure you think that sounds awesome. You want to know where to join. Well, click that link I'll leave in the description. I can't wait to see you there. Regarding cardio, you have two types, aerobic and anaerobic. And for combat sports, you need them both. However, there's one that is more important than the other, but more on that later on. Aerobic endurance or aerobic conditioning is low intensity, long duration cardio. Anaerobic endurance or anaerobic conditioning is high intensity, short duration cardio. Easiest way to think about it is aerobic cardio is jogging or walking cardio, while anaerobic cardio is sprinting cardio, often referred to as power endurance. Anaerobic cardio is your ability to throw strikes and grapple at a high intensity or almost max power repeatedly. For example, most people get so tired throwing kicks at full power and can only do so a few times in a fight. These people have bad power endurance or anaerobic cardio. Aerobic cardio is your ability to resist fatigue, but it's more general. Like many fighters get tired moving around, particularly side to side or backwards in a fight. This is due to a lot of movement or bad aerobic cardio. Because aerobic cardio is much more simple and actually the least important, I'll go over that one first. But I would say it's not more simple than taking care of your skin, which is why I'm excited to announce that Tish Hanley is sponsoring today's video. Listen up guys, because I got some game-changing news for you. Taking care of your skin has never been easier thanks to today's sponsor, Tish Hanley. Tish Hanley is an amazing product line, but the two that have changed my life are their wash and AM moisturizer. It is so simple to start building your daily routine with these two products. And not to mention, they make your skin look and feel amazing. And if you need proof of their effectiveness, they have over 7,000 5-star reviews on their website. Tish Hanley has revolutionized skincare for countless men, and they're gonna do the same for you. You can now get both of these products for an insane deal. Click the first link in the description to get the wash and AM moisturizer for just $9. Yep, just $9. This is an exclusive opportunity to transform your skin and your confidence. Or at least do the bare minimum for your skin because it's just $9. You literally don't have an excuse anymore. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment to start your skincare routine today. Trust me, you won't regret it. Thank you to Tish Hanley for sponsoring today's video. For each type of conditioning, whether it's aerobic or anaerobic, I'll give you an easy way to train it, and I won't call it the hard way, but a more specific way to train, which is aimed at you if you want to put more dedication toward improving your cardio. But just remember, a complete athlete has more than just cardio. They've got power, speed, and strength. And I have all those solutions in my 120-day peak athleticism package, which I will leave in the description, or you can work with me one-on-one. I'll leave my coaching application in the description as well. When people think of aerobic cardio, they think of jogging, which is partially right, but I'd say most importantly, it's partially wrong. I went over why jogging sucks in a separate video. But for developing aerobic conditioning, we need the right type of cardio, which I'm confident isn't what you're thinking. If you do your stereotypical type of cardio, it's a mid-intensity run where you're running far, but at a speed where you're gasping for air. This training really sucks because it's not very aerobic, but it's also not anaerobic as well, but somewhere in the middle. So you end up not improving either very much. The type of cardio you want to improve your aerobic conditioning is low intensity, long duration. The intensity should be low enough where you can have a conversation or talk while you're doing it. We call it a conversational pace, or the pace that will maximize your improvements in aerobic conditioning. Regarding the easy way to improving your aerobic conditioning, a sports practice is defined as aerobic cardio. So if you're just training MMA on a regular basis, combined with long duration, I'd say 30 to 60 minutes of conversational pace running on the days you don't do MMA, you develop great aerobic conditioning. You should be doing some type of aerobic conditioning 5 to 7 times a week if you're prioritizing your cardio. I recommend having one day off, but because it's so low intensity, you could do it every day. Now for the specific way of developing your aerobic cardio, it's actually also pretty simple. Just use this chart going over aerobic conditioning in regards of your time of season. If you're someone who just does MMA as a hobby, clearly you don't need to use this and can just use my easy way of developing aerobic conditioning. But use that chart I just put up to improve your aerobic conditioning if you're really prioritizing it. To be quite honest, building aerobic endurance for all sports, apart from endurance prioritized sports, it's just about low intensity running on a consistent basis combined with sports skills practice, which applies to MMA because anaerobic conditioning is far more important when we're talking about combat sports. Because I assume when you strike and grapple, you want to put max effort on your strikes, right? The easy way of developing anaerobic endurance is pushing yourself. Yes, I know that sounds super simple, but let me explain. To build anaerobic endurance, you must overload or cause a lot of stress on your physiological systems, which you can do through your normal training. For a training adaptation to occur, a physiological system must be exercised at a level beyond that of which is presently accustomed. Which means if you want to improve your anaerobic endurance, you just have to give your body a new stimulus it hasn't had to overcome before. AKA train and push your body so hard it's new to your body. The best example of how I implement this is through just hitting the bag. When I hit the bag, I get super tired to where I feel I can't go anymore. I will then push myself for another 5 to 10 seconds of max effort after that. That 5 to 10 second period is where I really develop the anaerobic cardio adaptation. I'm pushing myself so hard even though I feel like I can't go anymore. You can use this method through sprinting or just your normal MMA practice, where you're sparring or rolling and you feel you can't go anymore. You then push through that tired feeling and go as hard as you can for another 5 to 10 seconds. When you continue doing this, you're overloading your energy systems, causing them to improve. There's a reason why MMA fighters say whoever trained harder in training will have the better cardio. Because cardio training is really about that. Who's pushing themselves more? So that's all you have to do to improve your anaerobic cardio. You have to train super hard and feel like you're absolutely done after your training. Now on to the specific way of developing your anaerobic cardio. Special thanks to the Movement System, specifically their podcast in anaerobic conditioning, for this information. There are multiple ways to train your anaerobic endurance, but I chose the most simple and effective method for doing so. But I will link the podcast in the description in case you want to know the other methods of training your anaerobic cardio. So I believe the best way of training your anaerobic cardio is through cardiac power intervals. This involves 60 to 120 seconds of max effort followed by 2 to 5 minutes rest. This replicates MMA to a large degree apart from the longer rest periods. This type of training is about getting your body to recover after max effort sequences. And that 2 to 5 second rest period is all about getting your heart rate to recover. The reason for the max effort being so long, aka 60 to 120 seconds, is we're trying to get to max level heart rate. As with a normal sprint, which is probably under 20 seconds, you're not getting near your max level heart rate. Those shorter sprints are great for improving speed, sure, but not your anaerobic conditioning. The better your conditioning gets, the better you will be at lowering your heart rate during your rest periods. This replicates what an MMA athlete will do in a fight. They go all out to up to 5 minutes and they have 1 minute to recover or bring their heart rate down. Whichever one of the two fighters is able to bring their heart rate down lower during that 1 minute rest is going to have the endurance advantage. My recommendation when you're starting to do the cardiac power interval training is you start with a higher rest time. So you start with 5 minutes rest and then every 1 to 2 weeks you bring it down a minute to the point where you're at 2 minutes rest in between each set. And then after you're down to 2 minutes rest, then you do the same with the 60 to 120 seconds of max effort. First, start at 60 seconds of max effort, and then every 1 to 2 weeks, you improve it by 20% or 20 seconds, to a point where you're doing 120 seconds of max effort sprints, followed by only 2 minutes of rest. Be sure the drill you're using for the max effort actually allows you to get to max effort. So great exercises to do this are a resisted assault bike, sprinting, which many of you will have to do an incline sprint to add some resistance to it, a rower with some resistance, or a sled push with low resistance. You can even use a sport-specific work as your exercise of choice, like hitting the bag for 60 to 120 seconds, or shadow boxing or a pad. And I would recommend with shadow boxing you add maybe a 1 to 2 pound weight to it. But keep in mind you might need to add a little bit of resistance, whether it's an incline or a little bit of weight, to make sure you're actually getting to max effort. But you also have to make sure the exercise you choose, you can get to max effort and maintain it for 60 to 120 seconds. Regarding the volume for this type of training, you want to do 4 to 12 sets of this, which is a really big range, which I don't like, but that's what's recommended. But like with the 60 to 120 seconds of work or the 2 to 5 minutes of rest, start at the lowest and work up. But with MMA fighters, you could probably just stick to maybe 5 sets because that's the most amount of rounds you might do. But if you're a boxer, then yeah, 12 sets might be ideal. Don't do the cardiac power interval training more than 3 times per week. This is a very high intensity exercise, so it's going to be very taxing on your body. If you're doing this 4 or more times a week, you're going to gas out your nervous system and your body, and you might risk overtraining. So maximum I personally recommend is 3 times a week with at least 48 hours to recover between each time you do this exercise. And that improves your anaerobic conditioning, also code for power endurance. And now you have the endurance to have maximal power for an entire fight. But now it's time to actually develop your power. And I go over exactly how to develop your power, whether it's kicking, punching, or grappling for MMA in this video, which you should check out.